go. I do believe we are live, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. It's a pleasure getting to spend another moment in conscious evolution alongside you. Today's intention, the direction we want to evolve within, is that of living with ourselves, right? Specifically as it relates to our immediate experience and how this environment we're in affects our thoughts, ourselves, our lives, and how a lot of that effect can happen on the inside, and then you have to live with it. Right? This is me trying to keep something vague enough. The Olympics are happening right now, and there's so much going on there, right? There's so many souls, there's so many different ways of being, so many different ideologies, and all of them are showing up in this very public and well televised, well seen, very much in the forefront of our minds kind of way. And it's interesting to notice the spikes of controversy and the things that are supposed to be seen as appalling and the memes that are coming out of that whole environment. And again, this thing is happening, right? The Olympics are happening for all of us right now. But we have to live with ourselves, right? And especially so in the way we experience this experience, the way we share to one another, the presence we are allowed within these moments. It's nice to have you friends here. For those joining me afterwards, you're probably the only ones hearing these words because it's just me talking to myself right now. Sending you a lot of blessings. Let me actually open this up so I can not worry about another thing. There we go. Perfect. Oh man, I mean, this is the first thing that my screen showed me. This is yesterday's flower. I am happy about how it turned out. All right. There is me, myself and I. Sweet. I'm gonna take it pretty easy. It's Sunday. Tomorrow I will be having my tooth removed. So I'm feeling some way about that whole experience that awaits. I don't know if there is any problem, but there might be when it comes to financing and like them sending me potentially to the wrong ward or to the wrong building because my hospital plan covers hospital trips, but not like theater room or chair, like where I have to just sit in a chair and they remove the thing from me. So yeah, I have to live with myself and all of these stressors that are on the forefront of my mind right now. So I'm gonna just live easily. Try and remind myself that it's gonna be okay. I'm going to have this experience and then I'm going to return and have this moment with you friends tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't feel that far away. Gee, like I think I just tripped myself out more just by reminding myself that it's that close. Living with myself. Love is true. This is the second last nug I have left of aliens. It is the second last nug I have of novel weeds. Maybe I have some other stuff a little bit tucked away. But yeah, I've not been spending any money on more marijuaners as of late. Living with myself is like living with the world's most lovable yet annoying and frustrating roommate. I feel that's very apt to the stream topic I'm suggesting today. Very well put, Dr. Living with yourself is like having the world's most lovable yet annoying and frustrating roommate. Your mouth will be fine, my dude. You are full of divine, awesome, and tougher than truck stop toilet paper. Also, the cap keeps falling off of my new Dynavap. That's a bit of a bummer. I'm going to have to be very careful in the woods. Mine used to fall off as well. You see how it's not falling off? You can do it while it's a little bit warm as well. You just take your nail and then you press up against that divot. You see that divot right there? You press up against it. You encourage it to divot a little bit more, and then your cap will be secured. Perfectly so. It's probably a tolerance thing. This is very green. I'm gonna add more heat to it before I throw it away. Living with yourself. I've been living with myself for a long time. You know, since I can remember, I've been living with myself. And you have to, right? You have to live with yourself. Okay, we'll do some encouraging divots later. Yeah, could be an easy fix for your problem. I'm gonna add more heat still because I can. I am definitely feeling the effects of the aliens. What are the aliens saying right now? They're saying you're gonna be fine. I'm not really not worried that I'm gonna be fine. I'm more just apprehensive of all of the awkward. The awkward driving to this event, this appointment, the getting there and then proceeding to look for the right building, the talking to the doctor, to the reception people, the having x-rays done on my face, the mental me tripping myself out about getting x-rays and getting cancer or something, then getting shimmied towards an operating chair, then having them I'm trying to look for the word. Apply an anesthetic, anesthetize. No. Apply an anesthetic to my jaw, and then while I'm awake, you're gonna be pulling that thing out of my face. And then I'm gonna get in the car and I'm gonna drive back here. And then I'm gonna do my live stream. Right? Like there's no fear, there's no, like I'm kind of okay with it. It's just like a lot, you know? It's a lot. And I don't really know if I want to do any of that. But I have been showing myself as of late, like, and I feel that maybe this is something I can roll back into today's stream topic of living with yourself. One of the things that I do to make living with myself a little bit more pleasant is I force myself to do things, or I do not take my own excuses, right? Like I have a pattern where I'll take naps just before my streams, right? Didn't today, didn't today, technically speaking, right? Didn't do any extra sleeping because I did sleep a little bit more this morning. But yesterday, as I was getting, back into the world from my nap, it was already 5 minutes past 3, so I shower and get ready for my yoga and stuff. And I feel this sense, I feel this voice, this comfort in me being like, I don't want to do anything. And then almost like I am the other voice. I stand up and I do something. I'm like, no, no, actually, no. And for me, I feel like that has been a way for me to live with myself. Because I realize that I can live with myself, hear all of these things, hear my own complaining of not wanting to do something, and still do it. Right? And maybe that is how we're supposed to live with ourselves. Maybe that could be a direction to point our minds into. The aliens are telling me I'm about to get abducted up in Michigan. At least that's what the algorithm tells me. The cryptids are coming for you, bro. It's such a small amount of radiation from the X-ray. You got more flying to China. That is probably true. Yeah, it's just, the mind's catastrophizing. I remember myself thinking about that when I got my X-ray, when I found out that I have this wisdom tooth. That was also quite an experience. Again, because of it was met with like such an awkward process of me talking to the HR representative of my company, him talking to one of the employees basically riding up in front of me and me following him with my little electric scooter to the hospital, him doing some rough translation for me, then pointed me, talked out, them take me to x-ray booth, get x-rayed, and then given some pain medications to feel better. Might have been best to just have it removed back then and there, but still such a hassle. The problem with forcing yourself to do things is the older you get and the harder life gets. You get exhausted mentally of doing stuff I don't want to, but like heavy and painful. I feel you on that, Dr. Dad, and it's so interesting that that's the exact words you use. Doing stuff I don't want to, like that, right? Because it's very clear to me that I am entering a chapter of my life where I might be expected to do things that I don't want to. And I'm like battling something. I'm battling some ego stuff, right? Definitely. There's an ego in me thinking specifically back to where I began as a person, right? Especially so as a person who thinks they are someone, right? And this someone that I thought I was believed that I should never have to do anything that I don't want to, right? Like ever. Like it was appalling to even consider such an act. Why would I do something I don't want to when there are all of these other things to do that I would want to? And I guess maybe I'm coming to the conclusion that I can't do the things I want to do unless I do the things I don't want to do. And it is kind of hard living with myself. when I really take that into consideration. So I do hear what you're saying, Dr. But I don't know if there's any way around it, necessarily speaking. Maybe again, there should be balance. Are you doing the things you want to do still? Right? And in that way, I think this trip to Michigan is going to be maybe in some way something you want to do. Right? And that could unburden us, that could give us that sense of freedom, that capacity to feel like we are in control, at least of that moment again, of us getting there. Living with ourselves. You have to live with yourself. And everything you do becomes that life. The life that you have to live with. It's kind of a lot, right? If you really break it down like that. So I'm trying to listen to what you're saying, like that. The whole, doing what you don't want to do, and it making you heavy and painful, or it feeling heavy and painful. Hey, Sam, it's nice having you here, friend. So I'm hearing where you're coming from. But I wonder, is that a mentality thing? Is it an actuality thing? Is it a truth? Or is it a potential? Is there the potential for suffering and having to do things you don't want to do? Or is there a guarantee for suffering? You know what I found? Again, and it's the whole living with yourself. The longer you live with yourself, the more you learn about yourself. The more you learn about what motivates you, what is important to you. And maybe in that way, you can convince yourself that there is something you want in this thing that you don't want. And for some people, that's money, right? Some people get paid money to do things they don't want to do. But there are many different things of value that you can convince yourself with. Maybe there can be more pain and heaviness involved if there is only money as a motivating factor. I see mouth deep in the throes of contemplation. I am getting my tooth removed tomorrow. I already hit a Dynavap. I'm feeling pretty calm. I feel kind of tired. I feel a little bit anxious. Thinking specifically about this whole having to do things that I don't want to do. Weirdly enough, that me and Dr. has been talking about. Right? Because again, it's not that I don't want to do it as such. It's just that I want to do other things more than I want to do some things. And it's this weird dichotomy of worrying that if I started doing something I didn't want to do, for the sake of getting to do things I want to do, I'll be left with doing more things that I don't want to do and less things that I do want to do. And it's very strange, because I don't know that I know what the right answer is. Because again, I feel like I am at this point in my life, unfortunately, driven by needs, right? That I don't exactly have the luxury of the same wants anymore. And I'm hoping, I'm hoping that it's just a phase, or at least a stage of this conscious evolution we're a part of again. That I can reel myself back a little bit later to be to be more like my old self. Does that make any sense? I don't think it does, Mel. I don't think it does, bro. I don't think there's such a thing as rolling back, or there's only rolling forward. Love is true. That's how I'm going to set my mind at ease a little bit, because that should be and is my motivating factor. That I'm trying to ensure that love is true in the interactions, in the exchanges, in the relationships that I'm building. There's also been this level of insecurity, some level of insecurity, some level of doubt, maybe even just an acceptance of even that I am not as intelligent as I might want to be, I should say. The as intelligent as I think I am feels a little bit more scuffed. And it's this, again, like this balance of, am I biologically limited with my current intellectual capacity? Is it a education thing? Do I just need the right education to continue leveling up my thinking capacity? Do I need novel substances engineered in labs? Do I need gene editing, changing the biology itself? Do I need brain computer interfacing? Do I need all of those at the same time? Right? Do I need any of it? Really? Where is this trajectory leading me? And we have talked about the augmentation of the self a lot, right? And that is something that I'm not woeing about. Something I think is one of the things, right? In the same way that cell phones are one of the things of this era, gene editing is going to be one of the things of this era. BCIs, brain computer interfaces, another thing of this era. And I am here in this era to experience this era. So I'm gonna experience what there is. But in that way, we have priorities. We have needs and wants. And I am noticing how at this stage of my life that needs and wants thing seems to be a little bit mismatched and balanced. A little bit, just a wee bit. I think it's a good fractal for the stage you're at in your life. The next stage is when you give your life to a family and all you want is nothing but to do all you want is nothing to do, but it's just not possible. However, I did just go to the grocery store to pick up buttermilk to make pancakes of ducklings as a family before I leave, and I treat myself to a steak to grill tonight. I never get steak. Nice. That sounds like a blessing. I hope you enjoy it, bro. Yes, Michigan is the first thing I wanted to do that is come into play since Kiddo was born. I had my 1 day trip last year. This is different. I'm happy that you're doing something that you want to do too, bro. Bless you. Normal. On the subject of buttermilk, no. It's not truth, but it's a symptom of a long time. Yeah. The whole experience. Finances have become very real to me this year. This was supposed to be the year of abundance, right? But that abundance unfortunately has been paying for food and a place to stay. And I'm thinking about these things that I know how to do. I'm thinking about the equipment that I need to do it. I'm thinking about the time it takes to make things, to get it set up at these potential events. And I'm thinking about the amount of money I can make with the time that I spend. And I can think about all of the times that I don't want to do any of that. And all of this thinking isn't exactly helping. Just more adding this perspective of, is this what I want? Right? Actively checking myself. Asking myself, is this what I want? Do I want this? Do I actually want this? Right? And maybe I don't want to feel that way. And yet, it's probably healthy that I ask these questions. Right? Surely. Surely it's not good. I'm supposed to be asking these questions, right? Is it normal to ask these questions? Someone affirm. My heart goes to the friends who are struggling muggles. Fucking calls me a struggling muggle. That's rude. Oh, that's so rude. I'm not struggling. I'm not struggling. You friends have, like, we make about 350, give or take, dollars a month with the Patreon and the yoga and the YouTube, right? And that is enough to, like, $100 of that goes to rent, and then the rest of it goes to food, right? Over the last months, there hasn't been any gigs for John and Max, so we haven't had any more cash. But in that way, you friends have literally been feeding us, right? So I refuse to say that I'm struggling. But it is a matter of, like, trajectory. Like, I am surviving. I will continue to survive. But it's like, that is technically all I have the room to do right now. And it's, again, this matter of the amount of work I'll have to do more than just survive, and the amount of money I can expect to ask for this work as well. I've been asked to maybe do 3D mapping for a wedding, which is interesting. Adding extra fractals, extra consideration. But again, how much money do I charge? How much work do I have to do to make it make sense? Because I'm gonna be sharing my revenue as well. Running a business. And living with yourself. That is today's stream topic, after all. God magic. Food magic. My father's family is Danish and Norwegian, and my mom's family is Hatfield. Food magic is my first and most powerful form of magic. Truly, Mel, you deserve the dignity of these equitable work considerations. Yeah, I believe this too. I just think we're in a pretty interesting spot as a species right now. How much you value yourself, what you can offer people in this world. Living with yourself at the end of it, right? That's the thing that it keeps coming back to. Melt is a bard. Melt is a financially solvent bard. Well done, dude. Yeah, you can say that. Financially solvent. Hey Google, what does financially solvent mean? Financially solvent can refer to a person or company's ability to pay their debts and financial obligations. It can also refer to a company's ability to manage its operations and grow into the future. Yeah. All of my debts are paid. I owe no one money. I don't owe my uncle money for his jet ski that I crashed anymore. And I can say that, right? I owe nobody any money. I do not have a car payment or a mortgage. I do not have student loans. I also do not have a car or a house or a degree. But that's not. I'm living in the generation that they're trying to convince that will own nothing and will love it. Right? How convenient for them. But in a way, again, bringing it back to this question of can I live with myself? Can I live with myself if I don't ever own a home? If I don't own a car? Sounds so simple, right? The answer is like, of course I can live with myself. But still, like that's a rough question to ask, dude. I need to do more work. That's what my mind is telling me. It's like, yeah, have you considered trying harder, Mel? It's good. That's a good point you're making, Mel. I have considered that. He was telling me to work harder in a different vector. And I am listening. You are right about that. I need to interface with a different set of people again, right? Because like I'm kind of now starting to be in this world of like the festival scene, right? The music scene. Like I'm starting to interface properly. Like I know what I'm doing there, but not so much with the actual exposure side. Everything in time. Thank you for reminding me. Financially solvent, Baron. Yeah. It helps that I don't have a credit card, I guess. I have a degree and I pull weeds. Weeds need to be pulled. Will you be training any of the other bardic talents like Sneaky Sneaky or the art of human charcuterie? Human charcuterie. Why does that sound so cursed? I don't know what that means, Sam. I struggle with giving myself credit and voicing my needs of dignity. I seem to also struggle with that. Struggle giving myself credit. And communicating, voicing my needs of dignity. Why is that, Hoopy? Because that's something we'll have to live with, right? If we continue being like that, if we continue to not give ourselves the credit we deserve, and we continue to not voice our needs with dignity, then we'll have to live with that indefinitely. And again, do we want to? Do we want to live with that? I have to depart, Mel. It was nice having you here, Duck Dad. Sending you blessings and safe travels. May you only have as much pain as you need to fix the tooth situation, and not an owie more. When we are together next, I'll be on the road. Bless you, bro. Safe travels. We'll be here again soon. I'm not sure I'll have time to do my video for what I'm bringing camping, but we'll see. Why must content take time? Yeah. Welcome. Welcome to the pain. Welcome to the things I don't want to do. Literally, today's street topic was about that. Literally. I wish I had like an AI robot with an eye that was just like the best perfect cameraman and editor and social media manager. That's what I want. That's what I want. I don't want to do any of that myself. I don't want. That's what I don't want. But there's no other way right now. That robot doesn't exist. I have to be the robot. Love seeing it melt. How are we gonna deal with the psychopathic bullies? I think again, we don't have to deal with the psychopathic bullies. We just have to live in a way where we can live with ourselves, right? If those psychopathic bullies can live with themselves being like that, then that's up to them to live that life. I just don't think we ought to, right? Torture ourselves like that. Good morning, Jopo. It's nice having you here, bro. Sending you lovin's. The term charcuterie comes from two French words, chai, which means flesh, and cute, which means cooked. Jeez. I haven't been that hungry, Sam. Hey, bro.
I have been thinking again, we just need to remember to try and set up the 3 8K projector quote with Nick and then speak to Peter.
I already sent the quote.
Sponsoring the
The
8Ks.
problem isn't like our side right now. It's Nick.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying, like, just tell Nick that we should rather just go with the 3 8K package.
I think he's gonna be the one that decides. There's no telling him.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
if
he
his
can't-
clients-
he can't get 40.
His clients need to pay. I sent him 3 quotes. He has all 3 quotes. So his clients get options.
Yeah.
You know, still waiting on the bloom. I did call Nick again recently, and yeah, like after what just happened in the economy, I don't think if like John is aware of that stuff either, and that's why I'm like, it's not much we can do right now. It's out of our hands. And I think that's also in part why I'm like feeling a little bit tense about this whole, business fractals, because a lot of we're dependent. We're literally dependent on other people giving us money, right? That's kind of the whole fractal. And I don't like that. I wish I could just, generate value. And that is exactly what we're doing. But it's not being appropriately paid for in that way. Like, you cannot make enough money. Like, literally, like, to give you context, right? You're like, what is Mel tripping out about? Even if this client pays our most expensive quote that we gave him, right? The most expensive one we made. And, which he doesn't, he has an event every single month and he pays our most expensive quote every single month. We would make less money as a business than this stream has been making me, right? The art is making me right now. Yeah, it's a little bit scuffed. And the worst part is our client isn't even ponying up to pay our, expensive quote. And it's like, what is expensive, Melt? It's like $2,500 and 34,000 Rand. So 1,500, 1,600, up to $1,700. Of that $2,500 is just the equipment, right? That we get to rent for one day. So it's not like we now have that asset. It's just like synthing, that capital gone. And then we as a company make like 10,000 Rand on that quote. Which is like 450 bucks. Maybe a little bit more now. Maybe like 500 bucks, 550 bucks. And then again, you know, I'm a part owner. So that needs to be split. And then suddenly it doesn't make a lot of sense, you know. Suddenly the juice ain't really worth the squeeze, as you say. But then again, I bring it back to that in the same way with these streams, I didn't start doing it with the intent of making money. I started doing it with the intent of making something, right? Making something of value with the time, with the resources, with the skill set that I had. You know, how can I bring something of value to the world? And this is now another one of those things. Maybe I just have to be patient. Maybe I just have to be patient. I will be given the chance to do the things I'm supposed to be doing. And if that is good enough, then I'll be able to live with myself, right? If I can just stay patient, stay calm, stay loving, then I can live with myself. No. Been fighting with wasps all morning. Leave them, baby, some fruit and some clean water. Sam, I usually leave them alone and let them be, but the spider assassins that they are, today I found 3 nests inside my patio, dangerously close to guests and family. Yeah, I get you, bro. This time of year, that's not ideal. And as the summer winds down, you're just gonna get more angry and desperate. I'm sorry, man. I hope the wasp on our porch keep it safe for me out there, even though I live in a friggin' forest and I'm outnumbered by the bitey by an order of magnitude. We are outnumbered. This is true. But I rarely feel we were in battle. Jopo is in battle with the wasps right now, but it's not always like that, at least. We learn pro trip. We're gonna hear a pro trip right now. I'm gonna pull a card. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I'll stop shuffling cards as soon as I see what the pro tip is. The pro tip is. If you are like me and you don't like spraying chemicals and pesticides, you can use soapy water in a soap bottle to drop wasps immediately. Dish soap and water. The dish soap is also not nice to them. Guess it makes sense. But you know what? I'm just gonna not say anything. And now Pojo was like, say what you want to say, dude. My mind wants to say that dish soap is still chemicals. But I'm autistic, so don't mind me, bro. It de-waxes their wings. Interesting. And then they just drop. Maybe like they lose their rigidity or something. Very interesting. Alright. The Green Taurus. Acceptance and trust. Acceptance and trust. Talking about acceptance and trust. I don't know how long it will take, but I'm gonna wait until it happens. Yeah, there happened. It is 44 minutes past. It is the 11th, and I have 44% battery on this device. Yeah, that's some synchronicities. Can you then safely move the incapacitated hunter somewhere else? Do they re-wax their wings afterwards? Good question, Sam. Acceptance and trust. One more time. All right. The green Taurus snuggles comfortably within a nest of flowers and is both dynamic and passive. Its revolving magnetic spirit invites you to move into the green shadowy center and trust where you may be led. It is the nature of the Taurus to move energy, and the energy moving here is that of acceptance and trust. Calmly allow your attention to follow the swirling arms towards the mysterious center. Recognize that you are moving through a passage that may offer insight into the matter of your inquiry. Agree to be open to the messages you may receive and trust that you are guided from within and beyond. Use this energy of potential as a means of accessing your most pure personal truth. Accept that this could be challenging, since many of us do not trust ourselves enough to recognize authentic truth when we are in its presence. Try to stay in this energy until you feel self-acceptance and sense a message that you can trust. Sit with this knowing and have faith in what you find at your core. Gently follow the arms of the Taurus back into your reality, knowing you may better trust and accept yourself. As you learn to trust and accept yourself, you will find it easier to be tolerant and trusting of others. I've pulled this card so many times, you know. Gravity Goo. Jeez, bro. Of course you're here for this. I pulled that card many a times, and never have I actually felt it quite as much as I just did. Trusting myself. Today's stream topic was about living with yourself. You have to live with yourself at the end of the day. All of your actions become a part of the life that you have lived. That is your life that you have to live with. And this trip of, trusting yourself. I think that's in part what I've been stuck with a little bit, not trusting myself enough. Not trusting that I can do things.
And just like so many doors are opening for us, man. Like way more than things biting us in the ass, even though things are biting us in the ass as well.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not
the
even.
theft and the
I'm not even tripping out about like the biting in the ass. It's more I'm tripping out about the part of me that's like, do you actually want this? Right? And I'm like, why are you asking me these questions, bro?
the mapping specifically.
Just wanting to do things, bro. Like I started our stream topic,
Yeah.
like by sharing my old perspective. When I started doing the live streams, that version of Melt
Yeah.
believed the only thing Melt should do is what he loves to do
Yeah.
exclusively.
Yeah.
And the only thing, right? And it's like a want thing. It's like, oh, Melt wants this, and then Melt gets this. And now this version of Melt realizes that that's not a workable model.
But to a degree, I think it's you are doing what you love. It's just you don't love every part of the process of doing it.
Bro, I don't
But
love.
eventually we're gonna have people who can follow the processes.
Like, it's not even just about that, bro. Like, I did, like, again, I shared with our friends that
Mm.
even if, like, a client like, like Bloom comes through and they had an event every single month and they paid us our most expensive quote every single month, I'm still technically then making less money doing that than I would be doing what I'm doing.
Unless we get projector sponsored, and that's the
Bruh.
that's the
They're
that's
not
the
gonna
key
s-
thing
they're
I
not
want you to
gonna-
focus
they're
on
not
because
gonna
it's
do
huge.
that.
Peter will.
They will sponsor like a logo, bro, and they will like, give you some budgeting money, but it's still gonna be thousands of rands a day for those equipments, bro. They will not give it to you.
Peter will.
I mean, he'll give us the 4K, but again, bro, like it's a company thing, right? Like all of these companies, the same need to make money, bro. Like it's written into the rules. Some fucking bullshit, though. That's what it is. So it's skizzing my brain. Skizzing my brain that I have to
Peter
now.
is gonna help us. You're gonna see. He said we need to speak to him, and he's gonna speak to his business partners and everything. They're gonna help us wherever they can.
Yeah.
He
it's
said
true.
ask, so we
I'm gonna
ask.
I've already sent him messages, so I'm pushing the buttons.
We ask.
All I'm asking,
Just give us $5 million.
all I'm asking is, do I want to do that? Right? Like that. Today's stream topic is about living with yourself. That you, at the end of your life, have to have lived with yourself. Right? And that experience is going to be uniquely yours. Every action, every word you say, every thought you think is you living with yourself.
But we do have many people who want to help, and not all of them can help in all the biggest ways, but every little bit of help we receive, and we have been receiving help.
Yeah, a lot of help. And again, I was mentioning this as well. Like maybe I just have to be patient, though. Like in the same way that the trajectory of the flowers had its own thing, and the yoga and the stream, that will also keep growing.
Yeah. And I'm thinking of if we can also just borrow that 4K projector of Peter's, right? Design some basic stuff. So I'll speak to him, Don, just so we can use that little roomie at night, and we just go there with a projector on the whites and everything. We do mapping so we can have a demo for a building mapping, because we want to do the permanent installation fractal, but we need footage of
Right, my mind just did.
something like that.
You can technically put down a camera on a spot, then map each side wall with one projector, and then in post layer that footage over itself.
With a 360 camera.
No, just a normal camera. It'll be better with a normal camera, in fact. You can do it with the 360 as well, but that's gonna be some workflow, and it's not gonna be like it's not gonna look as good.
Yeah, because that's something we can do. No, he will be willing to borrow us a small projector, and we can use that little white room inside, just to get some basic stuff done, and then we can add some branding like mind meld visuals.
Talking about this whole not trusting the self, bro. Like that hip hop artist, like he showed me the music videos he has. I'm like, they look good, bro. Like really good. Like shockingly good. And then he tells me the person who made them is 19.
Okay.
Right, and he's charging $5,000 a music video.
Yeah.
And like it might be worth it. It might be worth it,
Yeah.
Like if you want to actually, because I know we can make something that looks cool, but it's not gonna look that good.
No, but what I'm saying as well is what I was speaking to you about, that whole vibe, that would be the vibe for one song. I don't want to gimmickly do the same thing for every single song.
You just want to do like
a
Like a-
specific song.
yeah,
Like
okay.
maybe even Leicester not even because it has that nice drop for the visuals and stuff, and it'll have nice transition between that, like night and day. Ding 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 day. Ding ding ding. Gonna be fucking dope. Like
I hear you.
that's the whole thing is.
I like the idea of having like the side walls also mapped out.
Yeah.
Like that could be pretty cool looking. We don't need extra projectors technically as well. Alright, I see Heather is here too, sending you blessings, friend. I know it's technically cams, but it seems less invasive to the environment. I mean, they clean baby ducks with it when there's an oil spill. True. Yeah, soap is not all bad. It's just like the word chemicals is like thrown around, you know, like you are chemicals, technically speaking, you know, so it's not exactly something we have to draw lines to. Like, there are differences in chemicals though. I trust into the sink. You have 44% battery life. What does it mean, Mel? My battery is also at 44%. It means we are the chosen ones. And all of us are the chosen ones. And you are going to do great things. And I'm saying that kind of jokingly, but also no, I'm not actually joking. That's my thinking of it too, Joe. It's good enough to be. It's good enough for fluffy duck baby penguins. Then I can spray it outside to deter nasty things from entering my home. Yeah, I'm gonna put this topic down and slowly back away from it. What is that? Love is true. So I see synchro in numbers a lot while we are in this space. It's like a little bit of confirmation from the universe. This is a good place to be. 4 or 7 here. It was just 55 as well. I've already read our card. I'm gonna read as a goodbye message. I can just like pull one from the brain. Today's stream topic was about living with yourself. So I'll say, thank you, dear friends, for joining me again, for sharing another day, for making this life that I'm living something that I've been happy to live. Thank you for having the conversations that you've had with me, for being so kind and present and considerate, for going down all of these considerations alongside me. I look forward to seeing you friends again soon. Sending you all blessings. I love you. Goodbye, everybody.